They played a month ago in Baltimore, and the Ravens won it in overtime 2017. Ben Roethlisberger did not play in that game for the Steelers. He'll be ready today, and our game is brought to you in Sony High Definition. Ray Lewis, the heart and soul of the Ravens, trying to get his teammates ready.
Make up your mind. Let's go. Finish the day. Finish the day. We control our damn destiny. Repeat after me.
September 22nd, 2004. A plane crashed, and a worldwide television phenomenon exploded. In 2010, the amazing adventure that captivated millions will come to a thrilling end.
This is our destiny.
Lost, the final season, February 2nd on CTV.
And you have no idea what I've gone through to be here.
He's a new breed of Canadian skier, bold and brash, thrilling and reckless. This February, Manuel Osborne Paradis' goal is to be the fastest man on the mountain. His mountain. It's his home course, and the biggest race of his life.
Out here, losing's not an option.
Bob O'Reilly by The Who, and you can see them perform at this year's Super Bowl. Steelers won the toss, elected to receive. Look at this day in December, 40 degrees. There is a forecast later this afternoon, early evening, of some snow flurries. Ideal for these playoff conditions. Steelers have to win, or probably will be out. John Harbaugh's Ravens know that if they win today and win again next week at Oakland, they are in the playoffs. Mike Tomlin, already the youngest coach ever to win the Super Bowl. His team is ready, and so are we, as here's a kickoff by Billy Cundiff. Stefan Logan, a yard deep. The little man that played in the Canadian Football League a year ago. He squirts his way out close to the 30-yard line. And here comes Big Ben. He's enjoyed 4 straight victories against the Ravens. 8 touchdowns, only 1 interception in those 4 games. He should hit the 4,000-yard mark today, the first quarterback in Steeler history.
Yeah, he told us yesterday he knows the value of getting his wide receivers, Hines Ward and Santonio Holmes, some catch early. Both are over 1,000 yards receiving, and quick starts often translate into big games for his wide receivers.
Running back is Rashard Mendenhall, the second-year runner from Illinois. He's just 22 yards away from 1,000. And Big Ben comes out throwing and then scrambling to the sidelines and throws it away. And the Steelers' offensive line injured today and not in uniform. Left guard Chris Kemoeatu is replaced by free agent rookie Ramon Foster, and plenty of punch in the Pittsburgh receiving corps, complemented by young Rashard Mendenhall, former Illinois back. Needs, as we said, just a handful to reach 1,000 yards in his second season. Lots of chatter on the line of scrimmage. Hines Ward in motion. Big Ben over the middle, complete. Hines Ward, first down at the 41. The Baltimore defense, a 3-4 base. Up front, one of the NFL's most feared linemen, 340 pounds of Haloti Ngata. With Suggs and Ray Lewis, the Ravens backers are some of the best. Quietly, however, Jarrett Johnson having a Pro Bowl year, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions. There's the back line. Injured is Ed Reed. They miss him. Last week, making up for Reed's absence, Dominique Foxworth had a couple of interceptions in the win against Chicago. Mendenhall's first carry, and he plows for 3. Jarrett Johnson, the tackle. Ed Reed, not in uniform, and neither is Troy Polamalu. And when you think about it, Bob Sanders of the Indianapolis Colts, so 3 outstanding strong safeties in the league are all on the injured list.
Yeah, Ed Reed gave it a go before the game, tried to work out that bad groin and bad foot, and just couldn't get it in shape to play. And of course, Polamalu was ruled out yesterday.
He did run in a straight line, according to his coach Tomlin, and that's encouraging that should the Steelers make the playoffs, he'll be ready. And there's a big hole for Mendenhall, and he's into Baltimore territory, and a first down at the 48 before Ray Lewis can drag him down.
Yeah, this is where you want to attack the Ravens because of their team speed. You go between the tackles here, and Mendenhall with a good job of getting behind Foster, the rookie out of Tennessee, with a good block coming over on Donnell Ellerbe.
Ellerbe playing because Tavares Gooden, the normal starter at that backer position, is injured with a groin. David Johnson now in the backfield, the tight end, as a blocker. Roethlisberger over the middle, wide open, and another first down for the Steelers. Hines Ward, couple of catches for Ward, the veteran here on the opening drive. He leads as per usual in receptions, 85 now on the season.
885 in his great career. Working against Carr, you can expect the Steelers to go after Carr. He's filling in, of course, for Lardarius Webb, who was injured last week. So Carr will get a lot of balls thrown in his direction. Four-time Pro Bowler Hines Ward, Super Bowl MVP. The Steeler team, as you well know, two wide receivers, both winning the Super Bowl most valuable player award. Mendenhall now boxed in and dropped for a loss. The first negative play for the Steelers on this drive. It was Kelly Gregg, the 6-footer, 315-pounder from Oklahoma. He is number 4 in tackles on this team. Yeah, this is his 56th on the year. You can see he was blocked originally, but the play on the entire line, just holding the Steelers at the line of scrimmage, that allowed Gregg to come off his block and make the tackle for a yard loss.
Second down, 11. With Ward in motion, the fake to Mendenhall. Roethlisberger throws to Mendenhall, but overshoots him into the flat. That went offline. Mendenhall didn't look as if he thought he was going to get the ball. He was looking one way, and his quarterback threw the other.
Yeah, that was uncharacteristically off target for Roethlisberger because Mendenhall was wide open, and Roethlisberger really didn't have any pressure on him. Ball just got away from him.
Third down, 11. Let's see what defensive call the Ravens will use here. Will they bring a backer and put some pressure on Big Ben? Lewis stepping up into the line. He doesn't count. 4-man rush. The throw to the sideline, incomplete to Mike Wallace, the star of the victory last week as he made that tiptoe catch in the end zone on the last play of the game. Frank Walker on the coverage, and out comes the punting unit.
Really good route there by Mike Wallace. The ball again, that's 2 passes in a row where Roethlisberger has missed a wide open receiver, but Wallace did beat Walker to the sideline and had yardage for first down.
Daniel Sepulveda from Baylor sends a high rocket, and a Bearcats called by Chris Carr. Now the Ravens defense holds on that first try by Pittsburgh. They take the offense now. As Roethlisberger studies the photos from that opening drive, Joe Flacco brings his white uniformed Ravens out of the huddle at the 13-yard line. First possession for Baltimore, and the give is to Ray Rice, and they're waiting for him. Rice, no gain, stacked up on that right side. Baltimore offense is on its way to scoring more points than any Ravens team, and Flacco in the last 2 games, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And he'd love to see another opening series scoring drive like the one they had 2 months ago against the Steelers. 9 plays, took 5 minutes off the clock. They got in the end zone. Wants to set the tone right away, especially playing here in Pittsburgh.
Gain of a yard on first down. McLean and Rice stacked up behind Flacco. Flacco's first pass, and it's not close as Derek Mason, the intended receiver, had slipped at the sidelines. Offense for Baltimore. Blind Side. That's the successful movie about Michael Orr, and that's where he is today, on the blind side. Left tackle. Ravens feature the veteran receiving skills of Derek Mason. He's 11 yards away from 11,000 in his fabulous career. Going long is Flacco, and that ball is intercepted as it flip-flopped out of his hands, and James Farrior, the veteran, has it all the way down inside the 10-yard line.
I think Lamar Woodley came in on the blitz, and he hit Flacco's arm as he was trying to go deep. The ball just fluttered in the air where Farrior could make a fair catch. The ball was so high and so soft in the air. Left side of the screen is Woodley, and he pushes back into Michael Orr, and that's why the ball comes out as it did. Farrior almost gets to the end zone. As it is, he'll mark the ball at the 8-yard line. Great pressure by Lamar Woodley, something he's done all year long.
Farrier's first interception this year, his 11th career interception, and then that's a rare feat for this Pittsburgh team. They have only a total of 9 interceptions all year. Been part of their problem. They've not gotten field position like this on a turnover as often as in the past. First and goal. Mendenhall. After a yard, he is greeted by Frank Walker off the left corner.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin talked to us yesterday about splash plays. That's his term for turnovers, sacks, for momentum building plays, and in that case, momentum changing plays.
He got a splash from the veteran captain, James Farrior. He's leading in tackles again this year with over 100. Shotgun now for Ben. Plenty of time. Now he lobs it incomplete through the hands of Mendenhall. Looked as if he should have tucked that one away.
Well, he had about 5 seconds to read the entire field. Mendenhall obviously was the outlet receiver. That ball should have been caught. Would have been a touchdown for Pittsburgh. Ball went right through the hands of Rashard Mendenhall. And it wasn't fired too hard either. That was a very catchable ball by Roethlisberger.
So third and goal from the 7. Spread formation. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Almost offside. No flag on the play. The throw by Roethlisberger almost intercepted. As Dominique Foxworth, off his 2 picks last week, up with a one-handed try, knocks it away. Intended for Santonio Holmes.
And Roethlisberger thought that Antoine Barnes was in the neutral zone and that he did not get back. Here he is right here. Watch as he jumps across, gets back. Roethlisberger thought he was in the neutral zone, but this ball should have been intercepted by Foxworth. Got one hand on it, couldn't bring it back to his body.
26-yard field goal attempt by the 8-year veteran from North Carolina, Jeff Reed. And the kick is good. Pittsburgh takes the lead off Farrier's interception, but the Ravens defense applauded as well. That's only the 3rd touchdown they've allowed off 20 turnovers this year. Great city of Pittsburgh, sitting on the confluence of the 3 rivers and close by Heinz Field. And the Steelers take the early lead 3-0, although they had a chance for more after the Farrior interception to the 8-yard line. Reed settles for the 26-yard field goal, but the Ravens defense, a moral victory for them to stop them and allow just 3. Jalen Parmalee deep. He's the 2nd-year runner from the University of Toledo, as Reed pounds it end over end short. Parmalee at the 9. Up the middle, right into the arms of the Steelers special teams at the 27-yard line. Steelers wearing their throwback uniforms today. And here's the throw back to the linebacker, Farrior, that led to 3. Flacco and the Ravens 3-0 down to Pittsburgh early. Well, you need accuracy if you're a quarterback. Here's a fantasy football commercial featuring Joe Flacco.
Accuracy is one of the most important things for an NFL quarterback. Here's how I like to work on mine. Pull.
That's accuracy.
Beware, do not try that at home.
I used to throw at real pigeons.
On first down, it's Ray Rice running into a blocker, breaking tackles as he has all season long, out across the 40-yard line to the 43 before Ryan Clark, the safety, can bring him down.
He stepped right out of the arms of Lawrence Timmons right as he got to the line of scrimmage. Good vision to cut back to the left side. He sees the hole right there. There's the missed tackle by Timmons, and that's a big gain on first down for the Ravens.
16 yards on the play. That pushes Rice over the 1,800 scrimmage yards mark for this season. He's got his eyes on 2,000. Said that was a goal before the season began. Flacco play action. Here comes Harrison. He able to get away from him and throws the ball away. So he saves the sack as James Harrison, the defensive player of the year a year ago, has 10 sacks, nearly his 11th on that. The Steeler defense up front, run stopper, four-time Pro Bowler Casey Hampton. He's the anchor. The Pittsburgh pass pressure comes from Woodley and Harrison, but leading in tackles, linebacker James Ferrier, 7th consecutive year over 100 tackles, and a coaching move at cornerback. Veteran Deshae Townsend replaces William Gay at the right corner. Is that a tip? We may see some corner blitzes. Townsend very efficient at just that. Give to Rice straight ahead. A yard or two. Lawrence Timmons in the middle of that Pittsburgh defense with a tackle.
And we go back one play to the missed sack by James Harrison. It was questionable whether he could even play today. He hurt his bicep in practice on Thursday, and it appeared that he just didn't have the strength to wrap up Joe Flacco and bring him down because of that sore arm.
Well, a couple of great seasons back-to-back for Harrison. That wonderful 100-yard interception return for touchdown against Arizona in the Super Bowl. And he's followed up this year with 10 sacks and 4 forced fumbles. Third and a long 8 for Flacco. Throws underneath, complete. Derek Mason, the veteran, ducks inside the 45 with a first down. William Gay in on the coverage, and for Mason, that's going to push him past the 11,000-yard mark in receptions career.
And this formation allowed Mason to work in the middle against Deshae Townsend. Earlier in the game, he was being guarded and shadowed by Ike Taylor, the outstanding corner for Pittsburgh.
Mason, one of only 22 in NFL history to reach 11,000 yards in receptions. On first down, Flacco goes deep down the sideline, wide open is Kelly Washington, and Washington with a twisting catch at the 17-yard line. First down, Baltimore.
Washington, who didn't play last week against Chicago with a bad ankle. Look at this adjustment to the ball. Fingertip catch, gets down inbounds. Superb catch by Kelly Washington. Being guarded by Tyrone Carter, and that's a mismatch the Ravens will love to see all day long.
27-yard play. Flacco to Kelly Washington, his 32nd catch this year, Washington. So the Ravens threaten to score for the first time. Rice stutters and unable to get to full speed down to the 16-yard line. And at full speed, my partner Dan Fouts, here's his focus.
Well, Joe Flacco's in his second year as a starter for the Ravens, and oh, what a difference a year makes. Last season in the playoff game with the Steelers, the blindside blitz gave the rookie problems. But Flacco's now more aware of where the pressure's coming from, has a better understanding of how quickly he needs to get the ball out of his hands and into the hands of his receivers.
And this Heinz Stadium crowd chanting defense on second down and 9 at the 16. Rice, big hole, and he ducks inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line, short of a first down by about 1.5 yards.
He talked about his goal of 2,000 yards from scrimmage, averaging 128 yards. That's number 2 in the NFL, behind the great running back from the Tennessee Titans, Chris Johnson. But what a weapon Ray Rice is, especially this part of the field inside the red zone. Very dangerous on the dump-off routes from Joe Flacco.
We consider 73 catches for Rice to lead all running backs in the league, averaging over 9 per catch. Those are long handoffs. Flacco throws inside, incomplete. Demetrius Williams on the near side, ball behind him. So out comes the field goal unit for Baltimore. And after a substantial drive, they stall inside the 10, just as the Steelers were unable to convert after the interception by Ferrier. Out to kick it, Billy Cundiff joined the Ravens at midseason, replacing Steve Hauschka after Hauschka missed that 44-yard field goal in Minnesota that cost the Ravens a very crucial win. 27 yards on the attempt. And he splits it. 5 to go in the opening quarter, tied at 3. Back in Pittsburgh, and the Steeler fans and the Ravens looking for a playoff spot. Baltimore, the simplest way, if they win today, win next week, they're in the playoffs. But there are the other options for the Ravens if they get help. Jacksonville or the Jets losing, as well as Denver. Fans back in Baltimore rooting against those teams. Could happen today as Cundiff sends his right foot into it, and Stefan Logan brings it back for the Steelers. And he's got room now at the 40. Finally caught from behind at the 47-yard line of the Ravens. Prescott Burgess from behind, but what a return by Logan. He's got these Steeler fans astir. A 5'6" Stefan Logan has now set an all-time Pittsburgh record for kickoff return yardage in a season with that 49-yard return to the 47 of Baltimore. And here comes Roethlisberger. Steps away from pressure and now protecting the ball is tackled at the line of scrimmage, so there won't be a sack. Kelly Gregg invaded the backfield of the Steelers.
Go back to the kickoff return. Watch this huge lane from the very start. And then the block by Kieron Fox here, number 57. And that's just a chasm here as finally Logan gets to it and all the way into Raven territory. But that's really poor coverage by the Ravens kickoff coverage team, leaving a big hole from the very start.
Big Ben able to scramble forward and avoid the sack. Picks up a yard at 2nd and 9. Willie Parker in the game for the first time for the Steelers. And Ben gets away, now throws it away. No, it's to Wallace, and he makes the catch. Mike Wallace, a leaping catch, and it's a first down at the 36.
A lot of smiles out of these fans. They've seen this act so many times from Roethlisberger. In fact, the Ravens have too. It was a pass like this in the championship game last year to Santonio Holmes. Ball thrown up for grabs. Wallace comes down with it out of bounds in front of Frank Walker. But this is just the strength and a whole lot of luck involved in that completion.
Donnell Ellerbe was right on the shirt tail of Roethlisberger, couldn't bring him down. First down at the 35, a 3-3 tie, late opening quarter. Willie Parker. 30, 25, first down at the 22. DeJuan Landry with a tackle as we go to New York, and James Brown.
Hey, Dick and Dan, Houston needs a win to keep its slim playoff hopes alive, and a lot of help on 4th and 1 from the 10. Matt Schaub hooking up with Andre Johnson, 9th receiving touchdown of the season. It is 10-0 Houston over Miami in Miami. Dick Enberg, Dan Fouts.
All right, so many games, James Brown, around the country, the implications for the playoffs, and we'll be in tune. We'll be going to New York for updates throughout our doubleheader after on this Sunday. Plenty of action ahead here on CBS. Mendenhall now in. Mendenhall pushing forward to the 20-yard line, a gain of 2. And speaking of updates, let's go right back to JB.
Dick and Dan, a key New England defensive stop of Jacksonville at 4th and 1 at its own 35 leads to Tom Brady hooking up with Randy Moss, 2-yard strike, 11th receiving touchdown of the season for Moss. New England win would help them clinch the division title. They lead 7-0. Back to Dick and Dan.
All right, JB, and that familiar refrain, Brady to Moss, and a touchdown for the Patriots. Here at 2nd down and 8. Mendenhall behind Roethlisberger. Big Ben to throw. Runs into his own man, and Kelly Gregg shoots through to sack him, and Gregg has had a big first quarter. That's the third time he's been in the backfield of the Steelers. No, it's Nada. It was Gregg that started it, and Nada, Haloti Nada, finished the job, and he is just too much to handle. Look at him barrel through the blockers.
Oh, and he just takes Mendenhall right by him. In fact, Mendenhall was the bug on the windshield that time. The car, of course, Haloti Ngata, the world's biggest duck right there.
Oregon duck indeed in his fourth year. That's his first full sack of the season. Had only a half a sack coming in. He sacked half of the team. Now 3rd and long for Big Ben. He dumps it off to his tight end, Heath Miller, and Miller tackled forward to the 21-yard line. Chris Carr with the stop, and out comes Jeff Reed and the field goal unit for Pittsburgh.
And that brings Reed into a lot closer field goal try. This is the most difficult, or the more difficult end of the field for field goal tries. It's been a kicker's nightmare, but Reed has been here a long time. He knows the way the wind blows.
Took him forever to kick one 50 yards here in this stadium, especially going in this direction. But this one will be 39 yards, well within his range. He's missed only 4 all year, 22 of 26. This one is just inside the right upright. Oh my, Reed and the Steelers reclaim the lead 6-3. 69 seconds left in the opening quarter in Pittsburgh. Late in the opening quarter, battle of field goals. Steelers lead 6-3. Play fantasy football during the postseason. A chance for you to win $5,000. Sign up now. Playoff challenge at cbssports.com/fantasy. So a pair of Jeff Reed field goals. That last one 39 yards. Baltimore answering with a 27-yarder by Cundiff. Jalen Parmalee awaits to return. Parmalee being used more and more. They like the speed of this young guy. From the 1. Gets outside and then dragged down at the 23-yard line. Well, Dan Fouts, you've been in this position late in the season. You battle all the way in the heat of summer through to the cold of winter, and now every play is so important.
Every play and every point. We've already seen a couple of field goals in this ball game, but the most important thing in this game is going to be turnovers. We saw how the defense of the Ravens rose up after the Flacco interception, but any more interceptions or fumbles really will be the key.
Ravens at their own 23 to start this sequence. Todd Heap, the tight end, in motion. They pick off Carter, who's coming on a safety blitz, and the throw is well off the field of play, intended for Derek Mason. Another update in the cooking here. Let's go to New York.
Dick and Dan, a Saints win helps him to clinch home field in the NFC. Here, Drew Brees, 6 of 6, 71 yards and a touchdown, hooking up there with Robert Meacham, a 30-yard strike. New Orleans trying to do it on its own, 14-0 over Tampa Bay. Back to Dick Enberg. Dan Fouts.
All right, thanks, JB. The Saints trying to secure their home field all the way on the NFC side, and Drew Brees certainly one of the top candidates for the most valuable player of the year. 2nd and 10 for Flacco. He throws it to Rice, but too low, incomplete. Look at the NFC playoff picture. New Orleans, Minnesota, Philadelphia, Arizona, the division leaders, and the wild card Green Bay and Dallas at 9-5, and the Giants at 8-6, certainly in the hunt.
Last 2 plays defensively for the Steelers. Their great coordinator, Dick LeBeau, has decided to bring Tyrone Carter on the blitz. He has hurried Flacco into 2 poor throws.
Carter playing for the injured Troy Polamalu. Down to 2 on the play clock, and Flacco from the shotgun, and a flag down. That'll be a false start against the Ravens.
False start. Number 64 of the offense. 5-yard penalty still. 3rd down.
That's O'Neal Cousins. He's taking the place of Jared Gaither. In fact, he was the man who was rush by Lamar Woodley that caused the interception earlier in the ball game. 2 mistakes now for O'Neal Cousins.
And this partisan crowd in Pittsburgh, it's noise helping to create that false start. 3rd and 15. And they go to Rice on a draw. And he's stacked up at the 21-yard line, well short of the first down. Lamar Woodley and others in on the tackle, and 3 and out for the Ravens and the punting team on the field.
Now this definitely has a defensive flavor to it with these 2 traditionally strong defensive football teams. Field position going to be vital this afternoon for both teams. Which team's going to blink on special teams? We've already seen Logan with a good kickoff return. Now he gets a punt return try.
Sam Cook to kick it for the Ravens, averaging over 44 yards a punt. And Logan, who played last year for the BC Lions in the Canadian Football League, and this is a bad kick. And it's going to go out of bounds way short of the intent of Cook, who is so reliable. And the Steelers are going to have the ball as they mark it along the sidelines at about the 43-yard line of the Ravens, a 21-yard punt.
You know, it was a high snap by Matt Katula. Katula's got tendonitis in his right elbow. That ball came high, and that will throw a punter's timing off. In fact, his drop of the ball was way too far out in front. He barely got the ball with his toes. You want to obviously kick it with the top of your foot, but I think it was the high snap from Katula that threw Cook off.
That's almost like a turnover to get the ball at the 43 without a return. Steelers leading 6-3. 3 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. Roethlisberger, a little flanker screen out to Holmes, and Santonio Holmes along the sidelines, finally pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line by DeJuan Landry, and that's the end of the opening quarter. Steelers looking for more, but leading Baltimore 6-3. We'll return to Pittsburgh after these messages. 21-yard punts will bring out a dour look from a kicker.
But he's not giving up on his snapper, though. He's sitting right next to him. Not a whole lot of conversation, though.
Steelers taking advantage of that at the Baltimore 43, and then the first down pass and run by Santonio Holmes. And Roethlisberger and the Steelers open this second quarter with a first down just outside the Ravens' 30-yard line, leading 6-3. Dick Enberg and Dan Fouts here along the banks of the Ohio. Mendenhall. And he slices his way down to the 25-yard line for a gain of 5. Ray Lewis, another tackle.
And you go back to the catch and run by Santonio Holmes. He got a great block on the perimeter by Heath Miller. Miller came in motion and cut down the defensive back, and that gave Holmes that long gain down the sidelines. But what a couple of talented tight ends we've got here today, and Todd Heap and Heath Miller.
Mendenhall, and he's stacked up, and Ray Lewis along with DeJuan Landry and Haloti Ngata in on that tackle. Speaking of tight ends, Heap and Heath for these two teams, and both very productive. Heap less and less catches and more blocking for him, Dan.
Well, especially today, he knows that he's going to be looking at a couple of pretty good pass rushers in Lamar Woodley and James Harrison, so he may not get as many catches today, but the blocking obviously important.
Here's a key 3rd and 3 for the Steelers in field goal range, but looking for more. Roethlisberger. Incomplete. A flag down, however, as Hines Ward, the intended receiver, and Chris Carr didn't turn to look for the ball. So when Hines did turn for the catch, he was bumped into by Carr.
Yeah, veteran move by
Pass
Hines Ward.
Number 25 in the defense. Automatic first down.
But whenever a defensive back has his back to the quarterback, you can count on the quarterback giving his receiver a chance here. Watch it. Hines Ward has a chance at a touchdown here if the ball is thrown a little bit farther. As it is, he got one hand on the ball and almost reeled it in around the back of Chris Carr.
So an 18-yard interference call gives The home team Steelers a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. David Johnson moves into the backfield as a blocker in front of Mendenhall. Mendenhall up the middle, a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Touchdowns with these two tough defenses, the top 2 defenses in the league this year, as they have been for the last 10 years. So that's somewhat explains the 6-3 score. The touchdowns will be precious. Ed Reed, frustrated, out of uniform, lingering injury. Mendenhall stays in. He drives up the middle, close to the goal line, and it's a touchdown, Pittsburgh. Rashard Mendenhall, his 7th rushing touchdown of the season as he goes over the 1,000-yard mark on the year.
And that's where he's had success the entire first half. Right up the middle, he gets real close and then dives for the end zone. Question is, does he break the plane before his knee is down? Great effort. Tough to tell from that angle. The official on the far side of the field saw enough to signal touchdown.
Yeah, his knee doesn't hit the turf. It hits another player. So even though he was stretching out, it appeared that he might not have gotten the ball into the end zone as the knee touched, but it was touching another player. So the play remains alive. See, leans in for the score. Following his famous father, Art Rooney, and Dan Rooney, now the U.S. ambassador to Ireland. Wonder if that's a little Irish stew that he's enjoying there. Great person and great attribute to this wonderful game of football. He is able to watch Steelers by satellite in Dublin as Reed kicks this one short. Parmalee at the 11-yard line for the Ravens. And he's out to the 30, still plowing to the 38-yard line. A good return for Jalen Parmalee, as we remind you that CBS Sports is jumping into the bowl season this Thursday, 2 Eastern. Oklahoma Sooners meet Heisman runner-up Toby Gerhart and the Stanford Cardinal. That's the Brute Sun Bowl. And on Friday at 1 Eastern, West Virginia takes on Florida State. It'll be coaching legend Bobby Bowden's final game in the Conaca Minolta Gator Bowl. That's coming up Thursday and Friday here on CBS. And coming up after our action from Pittsburgh, second games of our doubleheader. So stay with us. A big day, important day, playoff implications of football here on CBS. Flacco to the sidelines, and a sliding catch by Demetrius Williams, close to a first down at midfield as we go to New York and JB.
Patriots know that a win will help them clinch the division title. They're looking to do it on their own. Tom Brady hooking up with Chris Baker, 26-yard pass play, nice toss, nice catch, 14-0. New England on top of Jacksonville in the second. Dick and Dan.
The Patriots trying to move to 10-5, secure their spot in the playoffs on second and short. And that big play did not fool anyone as LaVon McClain, the fullback, 25 years old today, and they defense blew out the candles on him on that one. He barely able to get to the 50-yard line, but that's enough for a first down as Woodley and Kiesel collaborated on the tackle. Ball just in Pittsburgh territory. Ray Rice. Boy, he gets out of the blocks quickly, doesn't he? A gain of 5 as we move once again to New York. What do you have for us now, JB?
Hey, Dick and Dan, we know that the Giants must win in order to stay alive in the playoff hunt, but right now, trailing. Look at Jonathan Stewart of the Carolina Panthers, 29-yard run for the score, capping a 6-play, 63-yard drive, 10-0 Carolina over the Giants at the Meadowlands. Back to Dick and Dan.
Carolina is playing the role of spoiler there. 10-0 lead. Second down and 6 for the Ravens, and Rice, the plow horse, the workhorse, close to a first down, shy of about a half yard. It'll be third down for the Ravens, trailing here in Pittsburgh 13-3.
That's 43 yards now rushing for Baltimore against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They're number 1 in the NFL defending the run, giving up only 83 yards per game. So the Ravens and Ray Rice, and we just saw McClain pick up a key first down, getting the job done on the ground in this first half.
In fact, Rice in the first game between these two teams, 88 yards rushing, the most allowed by the Steelers this year. Rice gets more. Now he's in the open. Kicks free to the 30 and has a first down plus. Tyrone Carter makes the tackle.
The Steelers are crowding the line of scrimmage so much that he comes off the left side here. Todd Heap, the extra offensive lineman there. Chris Chester lines up as tight end. What a super job as Marshall Yonda comes over, makes a key block.
Now Flacco goes to the end zone for Williams, incomplete. With that run, previous run by Rice, he's at the half 100 mark here in the first half on 9 carries, 50 yards.
That's the second time in this drive that Flacco has targeted Demetrius Williams against Deshae Townsend. He hit him on a out route previously, so that sets up the out and up move by Williams, but good coverage by Townsend, and Flacco had to let the ball go long and out of the back of the end zone.
2nd and 10 at the 30, down by 10 at the 10-minute mark, second quarter. And Flacco has to spend a timeout. In the executive offices of the Pittsburgh Steelers, boy, is that an impressive sight. You walk in, turn a corner, 6 of those babies. Evidence of the great success of this franchise. 6 Super Bowl titles. And they are the reigning champions and teetering on the brink of elimination, but still very much alive. They've got a pulse as Flacco throws, and it's caught by Heap, and the big tight end up high to grab the ball at the goal line. Touchdown. In front of Ryan Clark and Deshae Townsend, and we talked to Heap yesterday about his basketball skills, and so many tight ends use their bodies a la working in the post. Look at this play.
That's a beautiful rebound by Heap, and he gets in the end zone before Townsend can touch him down. Ball underthrown, and Heap, good coverage by Townsend, but Heap knows where the ball is, and he goes up and dunks it.
30 yards on the scoring play, and here's
no challenge by Pittsburgh. He may not have gotten in.
Kind of adds the extra point. Too late now. So 61 yards and 7 plays engineered by Joe Flacco, with Todd Heap, the tight end, grabbing his 5th touchdown of the year. We're back to a 3-point game.
Keep that good times.
Back with the touchdown catch by Todd Heap. Deshae Townsend with his left hand makes contact with Heap before he gets into the end zone, but I don't think it's worth a challenge. The ball would just been on the half-yard line. Baltimore would have scored anyway.
So 13-10 kind of kicks it off to dangerous Stephon Logan. And here's the little man sprinting straight ahead. He's so much like Darren Sproles of the Chargers at 5'6", those feet just moving in a double speed pattern. He's tackled at the 33, and we remind you the NFL fantasy football season isn't over. Sign up for NFL.com Playoff Challenge today, only at NFL.com/fantasy. Valuable member of this Ravens team now, Todd Heap, for 9 seasons out of Arizona State. He's the all-time pass catcher in Ravens history.
That gives a lot of credit to Shannon Sharp for teaching him the ropes when Shannon was with the Ravens.
13-10, the Steelers with the ball and the lead. Roethlisberger into the flat to Hines Ward, and Ward bumped out of bounds at the 38-yard line. The Steelers and Ravens met in Week 12 in Baltimore. Dennis Dixon started for Roethlisberger, had a 24-yard TD run. Then game went to overtime. Paul Kruger intercepted Dixon's pass. That set up Billy Condup's 29-yard field goal. The Ravens beat the Steelers 20-17. Big Ben very much in action today.
This game has the same type of feel, doesn't it?
Mendenhall hit at the line of scrimmage, fumbles the ball, scrambles, and it looks like the Ravens. Ray Lewis is the man who fell on it. Baltimore ball.
Almost a touchdown for Baltimore, but it looked like Chris Carr couldn't scoop it up. Heads up by Ray Lewis. You knew he was not going to try to pick it up. He's going to do the smart thing, just fall on the ball. And it's Carr that makes the fumble. Actually, it's number 26 that had a shot, DeJuan Landry, who could have picked it up and scored with it. But give Chris Carr a lot of credit. Right here with his helmet, knocks the ball out of the left hand of Mendenhall. And there comes Ray Lewis, 52, for the recovery.
Talk about all those Super Bowl trophies. How about all the fumble recoveries of Ray Lewis in his career?
10 Pro Bowls worth.
First down on a big turnover at the 30-yard line. Ravens with a chance for the lead. Ray Rice hit hard outside, but he still gets yards after contact. He fumbles the ball, and Steelers have it back.
Ike Taylor's got it at the bottom of the pile. Back-to-back turnovers.
Ferrier appeared to hit him on the elbow, knocked it free as Rice went on a second effort for more yardage, and it cost the Ravens a fumble right back.
You know, both these running backs are second-year guys and not used to this intensity of this playoff type of game. Two costly mistakes by Mendenhall and now by Ray Rice, just trying to get extra yardage as that ball is stripped by James Harrison. Harrison with the right hand punches the ball out, and there's Ike Taylor with the scramble at the bottom of the pile.
And Harrison again, the man on the spot for the Steelers. He's forced his 5th fumble of the season. Now Roethlisberger faking the reverse, then throws back underneath, complete across the middle to Mendenhall. He's tackled at the 30 by Lewis. So back-to-back plays as they exchange fumbles, and the Steelers duck trouble as they get it right back.
Now the big thing about getting it right back is that the Ravens were a couple of yards away from being in the red zone, and with the field goal at least would have been able to tie this ball game up.
Oh, 13-10, Pittsburgh in the lead, 8.5 minutes to go before the intermission. Quick throw out to Santonio Holmes, and he's pushed out of bounds immediately by Dominique Foxworth on the near sideline, short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 2.
You'd like to see Santonio Holmes give a little more resistance there. Went out of bounds about 2 yards shy of the down marker. Good job by Foxworth to react quickly to push him out of bounds, but it seemed like Holmes went out of bounds much too easily.
Shot at James Harrison on the sidelines. Again, he produces the turnover for the Steelers as he has the last couple of years. Big they've been. Steelers are 0 for 3 on 3rd down in this first half. Here's 3rd and short. Roethlisberger going to scramble and then throws complete to Wallace. The speedy Mike Wallace from Ole Miss all the way to the 39-yard line. Looked as if Roethlisberger was going to scramble for the first down. He had it, but also saw Wallace, his fleet-footed wide receiver.
Nobody does it better than Ben Roethlisberger, extending the play, keeping his eyes down the field. Pumps to the right side. Now, all of a sudden, what a gift he sees. And, oh, what a catch by Wallace. Running at full speed, being able to reach behind him and snag the ball right out of the air. Huge play by Wallace.
Wallace with 4.28 speed, the rookie from Ole Miss, building confidence with each catch. Here's Willie Parker. And Parker out to the 45-yard line, down to the 35. As we reflect on last week, the Steelers down 6 to Green Bay, 3 seconds left. Big Ben looks for Mike Wallace. He was the 5th option on the edge of the end zone. The 19-yard touchdown catch as time expired, and the Steelers stole a thrilling 37-36 win.
Packers making the mistake of rushing only 3 men against Roethlisberger. Gave him all that time to find his 5th outlet receiver.
Leading by 3, the Steelers at the 35-yard line. 2nd and 6. Roethlisberger over the middle, and it's incomplete to Heath Miller. Juggling try at the 25-yard line.
Well, it almost looked like the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and that was why it went behind Heath Miller.
Mike Wallace. And Mike Wallace. 41 years versus the rookie for the Steelers, Ole Miss and Michigan Wolverine, Mike Wallace. So many years, one of the many stars of 60 Minutes. Third and 6. Under pressure and wrestled down by Antoine Barnes. Barnes' second sack of the season. And you saw him. He wasn't going to just brush by and try to bring down Roethlisberger with one arm. He got a big old hold of Ben and just weighted him down.
Yeah, working against Willie Colon. Good move to the outside and then not giving up on the block. On the rush as Colon pushes him by the quarterback.
Punt down to Carr, and he lets it go into the end zone. Steelers very nearly, Madison almost able to down it. It'll be Flacco and the Ravens at the 20 when we come back. A reminder, we'll bring you up to date on the Sprint halftime report with all the scores and highlights, so stay tuned. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. 6:11 to go here in the second quarter. The Ravens with the ball at the 20-yard line, trailing Pittsburgh 13-10. Flacco, the quick out is complete to Derek Mason, and Mason ducks out of bounds with a first down at the 35-yard line in front of Deshae Townsend. Bad news for Steeler fans. They know that at 7-7, the Houston Texans, one of the teams that have the edge on Pittsburgh looking ahead to the playoffs, and the Texans are crushing Miami 27-0 in the first half.
That is a huge surprise. The Texans always been knocking at the door trying to get there.
First down at the 35. Give us to McLean, and the big fullback who rushed last year for 902 yards but hasn't gotten many carries this year. Go straight ahead. So the Steelers could be eliminated from the playoffs if they should lose and Jacksonville wins, or a loss and a Houston win and a New York Jets win. So there are a lot of complications yet, and you can go on and on of all the machinations of the playoffs with so many different scenarios, but you just have to take care of your own business, and you got to win, and that's Mike Tomlin, jaw heavily set here, hoping his defense can slow down the Baltimore Ravens. Again, it's McLean on the carry, and he's out to the 39-yard line. Ryan Clark comes up to make the tackle.
And the last two running plays for Baltimore, they've gone with 6 offensive linemen. Put Chris Chester in as the weak side tackle and slide O'Neal Cousins over to be alongside of Michael Orr.
McLean on a pair of carries, picks up 9. You see Baltimore averaging over 5-yard a rush. That's very good against this tough Steeler defense. Now Ray Rice. Fake to Rice. The throw over the middle, complete to Mason, and a first down at the Steeler 45-yard line.
Boy, that play did not look right at all. It looked like as he was going back to pass that Flacco runs into Ray Rice right there.
Yeah.
Rice almost knocked him off his throwing motion. But that shows you the strength of Flacco. That was a good hard bullet to Derek Mason.
Mason, who came into the game with 65 catches and leading the team in 7 touchdowns, has 3 catches today and another first down at the 45 of the Steelers. 3-point game. Give this to McLean. Tries to churn forward. Gain of about 1.5 yards. Joe Flacco, in his second season out of Delaware, his numbers individually are all improved, although the team record is 3 games behind the 11-5 mark of a season ago.
Well, they had 4 very close losses this year. Had a problem with Hauschka missing field goals and then drop passes, but that's been the difference. 4 real close losses for the Ravens.
In fact, Baltimore 6 losses, 5 to first place teams, and Green Bay should make the playoffs. Throw underneath is to McLean. And Lamar Woodley right there to pound him down.
And that's something we haven't seen a lot from Flacco today, is the little dump-off pass to Ray Rice. That time McLean got the reception, but Rice has been so valuable to the quarterback and to this offense. Coming into the game with 73 receptions, and so far today, Rice without a catch.
The towels are a-waving on third and a long 6. Rice in motion. Flacco driven down on the sack as Ike Taylor, the cornerback, came through freely. And that's the Blitzburg that these fans love so dearly.
First sack of the season for Taylor. Here he is right here on the corner blitz. Great job of design by Dick LeBeau. You can see there's just nobody there to block Taylor. Ravens did not expect this blitz to come and bring down their quarterback. Taylor with the fumble recovery on the previous possession picks up a sack now.
There's the defensive coordinator, Dick LeBeau, one of the candidates for the Hall of Fame, a senior candidate along with Floyd Little, and is curious as to why LeBeau isn't already in Canton. He was one of the great cornerbacks. He started 171 games for the Lions in a row, had 62 career interceptions. He's been in the league 50 years, 36 years of coaching. Noeldi Moore lets the ball go, and it'll be down at the 6-yard line by the Ravens as Sam Cook planting that one carefully. And Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers leading by 3, 2 minutes to go in the first half. Interesting to see how Pittsburgh plays it here deep in their own end at the 6-yard line, leading by 3, 2 minutes to go, each team with 2 timeouts. Noeldi Moore in the backfield with Roethlisberger. There's a throw, almost intercepted as Terrell Suggs was right in the path pattern, and he almost nailed that pass for a score.
Yeah, heads up by Terrell Suggs. He quickly saw Roethlisberger with one step and a throw out to the outside trying to get the ball to Santonio Holmes, and he would have crawled into the end zone with that one.
Suggs nicknamed Sizzle, and he would have been red hot if he picks that one off for an easy score.
There he is again.
Stays in the shotgun. Roethlisberger hands it off to Noeldi Moore, and he is caught in the backfield for a loss. And we'll see if the Ravens call time here.
I think that'd be a good idea. They got great field position. It's third down coming up.
They haven't called it yet. That was not in the backfield to make the play.
Well, I tell you, this is interesting that John Harbaugh is not going to call a timeout. He's got 2 to work with and great field position. They're going to get the ball back.
They could have called time at 1:45. Now it's down to 1:25. Now in the backfield lineup is Roethlisberger. Figures that this isn't going to be a pass but a handoff. And they drew the offside. And now Roethlisberger, a free play going deep for Wallace. And he's got it out at the 50-yard line. Frank Walker, the defender. From his own end zone, Roethlisberger knew he had a free play as the Ravens had jumped offside.
Working against Frank Walker. Free play, as you said, Dick.
Penalty will be declined. First down.
And now the field flips. And with 2 timeouts, the Steelers are in business here.
45 yards on that throw by Roethlisberger on 3rd and long from inside his 5. Wallace becoming an increasing threat for this Steeler offense. So fast. Throw deep down the middle. Complete. Tight end Heath Miller. And Miller tackled at the 33-yard line as the Heath chorus rises out of the stands here in Pittsburgh. Timeout. 1 timeout left for Pittsburgh. Target line for Jeff Reed is right where the ball rests, the 32-yard line, going in this direction. That'd make it about a 50-yard field goal attempt. Plenty of time. 54 seconds left in the half. And Roethlisberger working his magic in the final minute, 2 minutes of a half. Throws to the side, and it's caught by Hines Ward. A tough catch, but he's made many of those. Down to the 24-yard line.
Nice working against Dannell Ellerbe. Left foot in, right foot in, catch secured. Another big play by Hines Ward, but how about finding Ward being guarded by an inside linebacker?
Out of bounds to stop the clock, 49 seconds. Roethlisberger is over 4,000 yards with that throw. First time ever in Steeler history. Past Terry Bradshaw as the all-time passer in the season earlier this year. Pump fake, throw on the run, throws it away. Just to go back to complete another number of significance for this Pittsburgh offense, with Heath Miller catching 2 passes today, that gives him 70 for the year. It's the first time in team history they've got 3 receivers with 70 catches or more. Miller joining Hines Ward and Santonio Holmes over 70.
And then you've got to the rookie Mike Wallace averaging 18 yards a carry coming into today's game, and he's got 3 catches for 83 yards in the first half.
He's the 4th best average in the league, Wallace, at 18 a catch. 3rd and 2. Roethlisberger the quick throw, and wide open is Holmes. Santonio Holmes, touchdown. The flag is down. Touchdown is the call.
Yeah, if you blitz the quarterback like Roethlisberger, you better get to him. That time Dominique Foxworth came on the corner blitz. That left Santonio Holmes all by himself. Big Ben saw it.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 28 in defense. The touchdown is good. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Santonio Holmes, the star of last year's Super Bowl. Last season Super Bowl, has his 4th touchdown this year.
There goes Foxworth at the quarterback. Roethlisberger saw him. And then the running skills of Santonio Holmes. What a drive. Over 95 yards for that score at the end of the first half. Vintage Roethlisberger.
Oh, he's like a different quarterback the last 2 minutes of the half. Here's Reed for the point after. Well, the drive started at the 6-yard line, but then they had a loss of 3 yards, so they had to go 97 yards in 7 plays. 24 yards on the touchdown, Roethlisberger to Holmes. A reminder, with 35 seconds left in this first half. Sprint halftime report with James Brown and the crew. All the early scores and highlights for you coming up on the Sprint halftime report.
After that 15-yard penalty with a face mask on Zbikowski, the Steelers will kick off from the 45-yard line. You think they'll try an onside kick?
I always wonder why. That's right. Well, with Mike Tomlin, after what he did last week with a 2-point lead, went for an onsider.
Doubt that he'll go for one at this point of the game.
No. You know, that was 94 yards in 7 plays, but really it was 97 yards in 5 plays, because it was a 3rd down pass out of the end zone by Roethlisberger from the 3-yard line that started the drive for another 7 Steeler points, and they easily kicks this one through the end zone. No time expiring, so 35 seconds for the Ravens as they'll get the ball at the 20.
Here comes the blitz. That's Dominique Foxworth. And he's not going to get anywhere near Roethlisberger as he reads it. DeJuan Landry misses, and then Zbikowski late, and Holmes into the end zone for Roethlisberger. Another touchdown pass. That's 23 on the season. And in the first half, 13 of 21 for 191 yards and that huge drive. Remember, he saw the free play on that 3rd down and got the big pass play down the field to the rookie Mike Wallace.
Ravens have 2 timeouts. Give it to Ray Rice for 5 to the 25. Well, through the years, going back to the Steel Curtain days and the Pittsburgh Super Bowl successes of the 70s, we always talk defense, but this year it's the offense of this Pittsburgh team. They've got a 4,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard rusher in Mendenhall, a pair of 1,000-yard receivers in Holmes and Ward, all in the same season. That's never happened in Steeler history. The Ravens using their 2nd timeout, 1 remaining, as the sun brightly shining here across the way, and John Harbaugh's Ravens stunned by that Roethlisberger drive in so little time. A 3-point game becomes a 10-point deficit for the Ravens on the arm of Roethlisberger.
And the splash play for Mike Tomlin and the Steelers was the Ravens jumping off sides, giving Roethlisberger a free bomb to throw to Mike Wallace.
That's a 45-yard play. Back to Ray Rice. Tackled from behind, gets the first down at the 32. And the final timeout is exercised by the Ravens with 18 seconds left in the half. There's Cundiff's target line going the other way. They'd need to get to around the 30-31 yard line. Well, Wednesday on Showtime, James Brown and his excellent company come your way with the Emmy Award winning Inside the NFL, cable's longest running show. Inside the NFL, Wednesday on Showtime.
Take a look at Terrell Suggs, and this was moments ago when he could have been the hero if he could have latched on to that quick pass that Roethlisberger tried to throw on first down. If he would have made that catch, what a different story we'd be talking about now.
Suggs from the 5-yard line had his hands on that little flat pass. Flacco, no timeouts, throws deep and knocked down on the far side by Ike Taylor, intended for Derek Mason. Taylor was a fumble recovery and a sack, almost with a pick as well. Isn't it something, this Pittsburgh Steelers defense? They don't have one interception by a cornerback all year.
Well, that's good. Reason why. Watch the ball hit Taylor in both his hands. Mason really had nothing to do with the ball hitting the ground. Troy Polamalu leads the Steelers, having missed so many games this season with 3 interceptions. But that is weird, though, to have no interceptions by your corners, especially a talented one like Ike Taylor.
One today by linebacker Ferrier is only the 9th total interception this year. Ray Rice trying to get him into an open area, but with no timeouts left, that'll be it for this first half, as the Steelers again get that late touchdown at the end of a half, and they leave the field with a 20-10 advantage. And Baltimore this year, when they trail at halftime, have not been able to rally to win. They're 0-5 when trailing at the intermission. End of the half. Pittsburgh 20, Baltimore 10. Back with a Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station.